All right, boys and girls, I'm not going to go through drawing. You're going to use a pencil. I'll give you an eraser. You're going to have a draw along sheet. You're going to have variations. So I'll have some different kinds of animals. If you don't want to necessarily do a dog, but I will have I'll have a better drawing guide for when you actually do this. The one thing I want to work with today is this black glue. Be very careful you don't get it on you. It is messy. You'll also want a test sheet. I'll make sure I put some scraps out for you to test. The biggest thing is that you're going to want to make basically a puffy line. And you got to go slow. That's what you want. And you don't want to smear it. So when you end it, you want to kind of stop and go up. And even if you get a little line, there, let me do that again. You go, you make your line, you stop. You could even do a little practicing and leave it like that. Whatever you do, don't smear it. If you make a mistake, leave it. This is gonna be one of those where you work it into being a beautiful oops, or you turn mistakes into masterpieces. So you're just gonna wanna do the lines and you're gonna take your time. Notice I'm not rushing. This is a lot like decorating a cake. You cannot, I'm gonna stop squeezing and gently pull off. This is where it's gonna get a little dicey. You wanna do big spaces. If like the inside of the nose, I'm looking at this and I'm going, I don't know if I could do that. I might have to do something different next week with that. This week, the big push is going to be to out. See, I went a little too fast and it got stretched. Is going to be to do the outline. We're going to use oil pastels, watercolor. I might give you markers. I haven't decided. Be very careful if you have jewelry or long sleeves. I'm pretty good. I've done this before, so if you have anything on your wrist, you might want to take it off. If you have long sleeves, make sure you pull them back. Be very mindful of people around you. Oh, I got the tongue. I'm so proud of myself. Don't color anything in, even if you want to make the inside of the eye black. What I'll probably do next week is have black and white oil pastels. We're going to make patterns. It's going to be too hard to make the patterns with this. We're really focused on, now see, I got this line going the way I don't want it. I'll just have to fix it next week, which is fine. So this is going to stay raised. This is black glue. It's going to give you a raised, almost puffy paint kind of feel, which is very interesting. I want to use more than one medium on this project. Dean Russo is, that's what I didn't want. I'm coming to the end. But you know what? I got to live with it. It's fine. Any imperfections are fine. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. It's not worth it. And we have to be very mindful of others. Please do not put this back in the pencil bins. This only goes back in the big bin where these are going to be stored. And there you go. I got that done as quickly as possible. Make sure the cap goes on. Please do not lose these caps. Don't get this, try not to get this on your hands. You shouldn't really, you guys are in 5th grade. This is all I want. This is the outline on the watercolor paper. Next week, we are gonna add color to it. One thing I wanna go over, boys and girls, some of these are a little more watery than others. So when you get yours, you wanna test it out. This one's a little thicker. So you're gonna see it's going to, let me see if I can move my camera. That's not gonna help. There we go. So this one's a little thicker. So I'm gonna very slowly let it kind of go. It's got the consistency of like icing, like that gel icing for cake. This one, unfortunately, it was really thick and I loosened it. Make sure you test it. This one's much more watery, but still slower is better. Do not just squeeze on these bottles. It'll be a mess. It'll dry the same. It just goes right on the drying rack.